Jesus, my love, thank you so much for showing us what is pleasing to you at this time of the year. Please inspire us with ways to show our appreciation and love for you. Well, my family, I confess to you that I found out today I'm still infected with that nasty spirit of acquiring things. I don't indulge it, but boy, it sure lurks below the surface. And you're going to hear construction sounds in the background because we're growing. Anyway, when I came to listen and write this message, because of difficulty with a wood stove I purchased from Etsy, that page of correspondence popped up, and alongside it was an item, a beautiful pendant of the holy face of Jesus. It really moved me. Well, that's all I needed. Like a dog thrown a bone, I went chasing curiously because the item was way too expensive, so I checked out other similar things before I even fully realized my foolishness in setting aside a message from the Lord for a trinket. I was hooked and wanted to go through all 150 pages of Etsy, but I put my foot down, thanks be to God for His grace, and closed the browser. But something still in me was activated, and I could feel it. And here the Lord is talking about how avarice gets a hold of us and perverts the meaning of His nativity. Do you see, sweet family? Like Mother Elisha says, formerly Nana, I was a hot mess. Pitiful, just pitiful. I want you to know that there is hope for you. God can use you in tremendous ways that might look small to the world, but are great in His eyes. He can make you holy. If He can use me to help you, He can do anything. So do not despair at your littleness. That, in fact, is a prerequisite in becoming a vessel unto honor in God's service. It is the little ones He calls out from the drab corners of the earth. And when they respond appropriately, He lavishes His graces upon them until they overflow into the world, drawing all men to Himself. So be of good cheer and hopeful. The weaker you are, the greater His grace working through you. Jesus began this message. My beloved family, I wish for you to understand the true meaning of my incarnation and how it should be celebrated. To put your hearts to rest, the precise date is not the issue. Rather, the authentic love you show for me at my birth is the issue. My dear ones, tenderly I speak to you on this issue. Satan has perverted this holy day to suit his perverted ways. He lures you into luxuries, focusing your attention on money and food in the world. Food, clothing, and the world's goods become an idol, while the poor around you suffer. But that is not the worst of it. In the frenzy to follow family traditions, the focus on me as a tiny, vulnerable infant, God's own Son, is lost in favor of acquiring trinkets and feasts in the heat of avarice. This dishonors me and contradicts the whole meaning of my incarnation. My dear ones, I came to set you free from sin. I came to open heaven to you that we may dwell together forever in eternity. I came to wed you to myself that we might dwell in heavenly bliss that obscures the depths and darkness of sin and raises you above the status of angels. Yes, my bride, the immaculate one who has shed the skin of the serpent and become the embodiment of who I created you to be, a soul glorious to behold, my very own helpmate. So when you celebrate my birthday, your customs should be free of gluttony, avarice, and greed, rather pure and spiritually sustaining to bring you closer into the family of God, the true meaning of family, with all the saints and angels gathered round to celebrate the greatest feast of all, my Father's feast of love and mercy for you and all creation. I do not say this to shame you, but rather to turn your hearts back to me and set the example for your families. It is within reason to have some special seasonal foods to celebrate the uniqueness of this feast. It is even within reason to give a holy gift to commemorate my birth. But contrast this to a Christmas tree loaded down with gifts, toys, gadgets, clothing, things that turn your children's hearts towards the world and away from me. Rather, my manger should be your focal point, and the desire to enrich one another's devotion to me should be your purpose. This should suffice for the family, along with holy Christmas songs, a holy video depicting the event. By the way, not all videos are bad. They are tools to be used either by Christians to promote the gospel and love for me, or by the devil to lead you into sin. But greater even than these activities is the love you show to the poor and those who have nothing to celebrate but another night of hunger and cold. If you knew how dear these souls are to me, you would stop at nothing to bring them comfort, a hot meal, a well-thought-out gift, a smile, words of comfort, something that expresses my love for them, that they can keep and remember me by. But I tell you the truth, they need far less reminding of my presence in their lives than most who live a normal life. They have seen my heavenly provision and kindness. I have visited them with my cheer and comfort. And you, as my spouse, if you truly care for me, should do the same. Many are the lonely, the hungry, and the hurting during this season, and you are my hands and feet. You are my smile and warm words of encouragement, bringing blankets, socks, and an encouraging lease on life. Yes, this is the better way. Store not your treasures up on earth, but give them to my poor, my littlest ones. Touch them for me with words of kindness and remembrance. This practice, along with holy devotion and recalling my incarnation, thanking my Father profusely for the gift that gave hope to your eternity, is so pleasing to me. Without my shed blood, heaven would have remained closed to you, and limbo, a place dreary and without hope, could have been your eternity. Therefore, my chosen ones, go out among the world and proclaim my goodness by acts of kindness and focusing your attention on my birth. I bless you now with inspiration and provision suited to your circumstance, and I thank you for loving me enough to go out of your way for the poor and to establish new traditions in your families that will truly bring home to your children the meaning, the true meaning of my birth.